Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about asylum, withholding of removal, and Convention Against Torture. Even though the current administration has reduced the number of asylees allowed in the U.S. every year since 2016, it is still a valid way to obtain your green card. In fiscal year 2019, USCIS found that 72,252 applicants met the credible fear standard in their application process. You've probably heard my story, but if you haven't, I want to share it with you. My name is Mejer. I'm an immigration attorney. My family immigrated to the U.S. when I was a child. We came here with visas and we hired an attorney. 2 years later and $5,000 later, they did absolutely nothing for us. They said they were going to help us get their green cards and they did nothing. We lived without legal status for almost a decade. I decided to become a U.S. citizen and an attorney to help people like my family. I'm committed to helping 5,000 families in the next 5 years get legal status. My office does everything it can for the clients we have the privilege of serving as if we're helping our own family members. I consider each of my clients to be part of my family, which is huge now because we've helped almost 4,000 people pursue their dream of legal status.
Calificas para ser legal, ¿quieres saber? Solo llama al abogado Andrés Mejer.
Now we're going to talk about asylum, withholding of removal, and Convention Against Torture. They are similar, but they are very different. If you are in the U.S. and you fear persecution in your home country, you should evaluate all three of these forms of relief. Applying for them is relatively easy, only because it's the same form for all three, just a matter of what boxes you check off. I'm not saying that proving it is easy, just applying. The requirements are higher for withholding and Convention Against Torture. The level of proof is higher than for asylum, but they provide more limited benefits. You're not going to get a green card ever with a withholding or removal claim or a Convention Against Torture. You're going to have a separate process and a separate application some other time. The benefits are mandatory benefits. That means if you qualify, you get them. The judge has no discretion in granting you benefits, unlike asylum, where the judge does have discretion. And you may be disqualified for asylum, for example, due to a criminal conviction or you missed the 1-year deadline, but that doesn't disqualify you from withholding of removal or Convention Against Torture. What is withholding of removal? It prohibits the U.S. government from deporting you to your home country where your life or freedom would be threatened due to a protected ground. Now, we defined what those 5 protected grounds were before: race, nationality, religion, particular social group, and political opinion. In withholding cases, courts have held that you must show that there is a reasonable fear, which means 51% or higher of persecution, while an asylum application only requires 10%, which is credible fear. So for withholding, you still need to show the 3 things. You fear persecution based on government or a group that the government can't or will control, and that those bad acts would be for a protected reason. Except withholding, you're not limited to the 1 year, but the proofs go from 10% to 51%, which is a significant difference. Withholding can only be granted by an immigration judge, not an asylum officer. Withholding cases can be applied after the year deadline, unlike asylum. It is country specific. It means that you will not be removed to your home country, but that doesn't mean you can't be removed to a safe third country. So if you were born in Ecuador, but you also have Spanish citizenship, and you're saying you're afraid to go back to Ecuador, the government can still send you to Spain. It is specific to you. That means that your spouse and your children will not receive withholding derivatively if you obtain it. However, the judge can separately grant it to each one of your family members if they file their own Form I-589. Those who are granted withholding of removal are not eligible to apply for a green card or citizenship. You also cannot leave the U.S., meaning you can't travel internationally, or apply to sponsor family so that they can obtain legal status. The U.S. government can terminate your withholding and reopen your case if conditions to your country no longer qualify for relief. Both asylum and withholding of removal may be denied if you have persecuted others, if you provided material support to a terrorist organization, if you've obtained legal permanent residency in a third country before entering the United States. If you were convicted of serious crimes. Now, some convictions will disqualify you from asylum, but not from withholding of removal. In a later video, I will discuss the differences in more detail because it gets complicated. Let's talk about Convention Against Torture. What is it? Like withholding of removal, if you meet the elements, the judge has no choice but to grant you CAT relief. The U.S. government can't return you to a country where you will be subject to torture. Torture is defined as the intentional, unlawful infliction of severe physical or mental suffering or pain with the consent of a public official in order to punish, obtain a confession, intimidate you, or discriminate against you. The standard of proof is more likely than not, 51%, that you will be tortured if you go sent back to your country. It's the same level of proof as withholding of removal, but obviously much higher than asylum's 10%. The goal of CAT relief is to prevent your torture if you are returned. So past torture is relevant, but it's not dispositive. CAT, unlike withholding of removal or asylum, has none of their bars to relief, and the torture you would face does not have to do with a protected ground. It could be for any reason. Like withholding of removal, it is a limited benefit. You can be removed to a safe third country, and your protection can be terminated if you are no longer at risk of torture in your home country. Also, you can't get a green card or become a U.S. citizen through this process. This is a difficult time for every immigrant to the U.S. It seems like this administration is making it harder and harder for those seeking for asylum. If you think you may qualify, please contact our office. We will work with you. If you don't qualify, we can help you determine your next best steps, including looking at the possibility of other legal status. We have often found relief for our clients when other attorneys said there was no hope. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to see our other videos when they are released. Until next time, stay safe and well.